Hey man, I think it's time to get to it, fight fans. What say y'all? What say y'all? Salute, salute, and much love out there, man. It is the homie, Mainman Mademan here. Salute, much love. Hey man, y'all know how I get down. We talking boxing, man. Yes, sir. Hey, once again, it's on. Once again, I want to say it is an honor and a pleasure, fight fans. I repeat, a honor and a pleasure to get on here to rock out with the boxing fans and the boxing fam. Yes, sir. Hey, Thursday, man. You know what that means? Our time now, man. What up, fight fans? Yes, sir. Hit that thumbs up as you pull up. You already know. I hope all is well in the world. Yes, sir. And most importantly, I hope all is well in your world. What's up, fight fans? Welcome back to the greatest boxing show on earth. We talking boxing live, the cool side of the pillow, fight fans. You know we got to talk about it. You know we got to talk about it. Now, I want to say first off, thank you to everyone that came through a bit earlier. Well, we had a live stream a bit earlier where we covered a little bit of Canelo and Crawford talk, you know what I'm saying? So for those who missed it, we did one this afternoon. Be sure to go on back and check that on out for the homie. And as always, hit that thumbs up as you pull up. You already know. So yeah, man, I want to say thank you to everyone that rocked out with me earlier. We had a good time breaking that on down, talking about power and speed, how, you know, Canelo's power could be a threat to Terence Crawford, but how Terence Crawford's speed can be a threat to Canelo Alverez. And I think that it's going to be an interesting clash of styles on September the 13th. But I think that my main man is definitely coming out on top. You know what I mean? So for those who missed that episode, definitely be sure to get on through there and check that on out. First one I got on deck, I got Salah Farah in the house. What's up, Salah? Much love and thanks for coming on through, rocking out with the homie tonight. Mainman Mademan in our house, dropping that boxing knowledge. You already know. Hit that thumbs up on your way in, says Salah Farah. Y'all know what it is. Hit that thumbs up as you pull up, fight fans. So as we always do here on We Talking Boxing Live, we're going to take a look around the sport and see what's going on around the sport. Y'all know we had a press conference go down today with the Premier Boxing Champions fighters. That card is pretty much being rolled out right now. The Keith Thurman and Sabastian Fundora card. Real interesting card right there. I like the card, me, honestly. I mean, I think it should get a lot more better reviews than it's getting, and definitely a lot more attention. I think it's a noteworthy card from PBC. I know a lot of y'all younger boxing fans out there like, yo, man, a lot of these dudes are old and past it and so on and so forth, but I think some of these dudes got a lot left in the tank, man, and these are some real exciting fighters that they piling up on this card. I mean, names like, you know, Shakur Foster and Stephen Fulton, that's smoking to me, bro. 50-50 fight right there. Of course, Thurman and Fundora, 50-50 fight right there. You know what I mean? I like the Jesus Ramos fight. I think it's a solid card, man, and it's good to see PBC coming on out. I see they came out with a new price point, $79.99. I don't know about that part, fight fans. I don't know how pay-per-view worthy it is, but as in the video that I did about this, it was to be expected. We know this is how PBC get down. I know a lot of us boxing fans don't like this shit. We don't like, especially the kind of fights that we've been getting from Turkey Al-Sheikh and so on and so forth. That November card that we got coming up, of course, the September the 13th card, and those are the type of cards that we looking at like, yeah, we pay for those. But PBC, man, you know, I don't know, bro. But I think that this card is worth the money. Yeah, I may not agree, but I think that this card is honestly worth the money. I really like the Fundora and Thurman fight, man. I really like that fight. I think that Thurman got his hands full. That's for damn sure. And he definitely got an uphill climb to do, you know what I mean? But it is what it is, man. But I like the fight. I like the card. It's really a lot of the fam over here, y'all not feeling it like that, you know what I mean? When we spoke about it here on the channel, y'all just totally ignored it, man. Like, man, I ain't feeling that card, you know what I'm saying? But I think it's going to be a smoking ass card, bro. I really do, fight fans. I think it's going to be a smoking ass card. So, man, let's get into this thing, man. Let's see what's going on around the game, man. It's been not nothing too big going down this weekend. There is a couple fights on this weekend, but nothing too crazy. You know what I'm saying? A matter of fact, one of the fights, the guy Shishkin is fighting. I think it's tonight, and the fight is going to be for, if he wins, the winner is going to become the mandatory to Canelo Alvarez's IBF championship. So there is a super middleweight bout tonight, but I'm not covering that tonight, man. So let's do this real quick, fight fans. Let's do this real quick. Let's look at some upcoming fights that we do got to look forward to, and also some of the fight odds before we start rolling out some of the stories, man. You know what I'm saying? Speaking of stories, man, I just saw this story I was just reading. Do y'all know that there's still a Best Buy left in the country? Do y'all know that there's literally still a Best Buy left? There's one Best Buy. I mean, not Best Buy. Blockbuster Video, bro. Did y'all know that shit? I thought Blockbuster Video was through and done. There's one joint left. I was just reading an article about that, man. In Oregon, one Blockbuster Video left. But back in the day, there was nothing like a Blockbuster Video trip to Blockbuster and Pizza Hut on a Friday night. Ain't that right, fam? Y'all remember them nights, man? Going to Blockbuster, man, renting your favorite joint, man, going to get a good old pizza, going home, cuddle it up, some games for the kids. The kids go and rent games. You know what I'm saying? Man, those were the days, man. Them days are long behind us, but those were the days. Blockbuster is a certified national treasure. You know what I'm saying? And that last one that's left out there in Oregon, man, preserve that joint. They need to start a GoFundMe or, I don't know, some type of whatever, you know, some type of funding thing, crowdfunding thing or whatever to save that Blockbuster. Because I'm down to do it, man. You know what I mean? I'm down to donate. Somebody show me a link or something like that to donate and help block the last Blockbuster to survive, and I'm with it. I'm with it because, dog, Blockbuster is a major portion of my childhood. You know what I'm saying? Shit, bro, going to Blockbuster, man, renting games and renting movies and all that on a Friday night or a Saturday night, especially a rainy, stormy joint. Man, it wasn't nothing like it. It wasn't nothing. And look, before we had Blockbuster, we had Earls. Y'all see a lot of y'all probably young out there. Y'all don't remember Earls. Earls used to come in these big ass box, like the VHS tapes used to come in these big ass boxes. And the same way that you like read the back of a cereal box, you used to read the back of the Earls. You look at the back of the Earls tape thing or whatever. And I know some of y'all probably still got some Blockbusters and Earl tapes in your house, man. Y'all know y'all late fees is off the chain. Pay y'all money to the last Blockbuster. You know what I'm saying? And Hollywood Video, by the time Hollywood Video had came around, which was like the next big one, it kind of wore off by then. It was kind of over by then. You know what I mean? Like, I don't know nobody that say, "Oh, let's go to Hollywood Video on a Friday night and rent some movies and eat pizza and shit." Like, that wasn't a thing. It was the trend or the fad had already worn out by then. But Blockbuster, I'm down to save, man. I am down to donate. Do a GoFundMe, do a link, man. It was nothing like that blue and yellow. Walking in there seeing all of that blue and yellow and shit, you know what I mean? Come on, man. We got to save the last Blockbuster, fight fans. What say y'all? I think we need to start a little funding thing for that, man. You know what I'm saying? Real spill, y'all. Real spill. So let's look up some upcoming fights that we got coming on up on the horizon. I'm going to put it here on your screen so we can all kind of follow together, man. Salute to my main man, Greg Hill, pulling on through, man. Greg, what's up with you? Much love, brother. Much love. Much love. And yo, man, just note to any of the fam out there, if anybody want to join tonight's show, we over here on StreamYard tonight. Just say the word link, and I'll drop the link in the chat if anybody want to come through and give some words about Canelo and Crawford prediction or anything. You know what I'm saying? Just let the homie know, and I will drop the link. We do got links on deck today. You know what I mean? Links are on deck today. So let's put it on the screen here, fam, so we can all just make sure that we know what we got coming up. Because I know a lot of folks is probably like, yo, man, boxing is kind of dry in the last few weeks. Do we got anything that we looking forward to, man? So hopefully y'all can follow with me and read right here along the screen. We'll just take a quick glance at some of these upcoming fights. Now, the wild thing is over here on DraftKings, they did not put anything for the October the 25th card from PBC. So they didn't put that. I guess, I don't know, maybe because the press conference is so recent. So they don't, but even though this fight has already been announced a couple weeks ago, but they still don't got it up for some odd reason over on DraftKings. So we'll keep that in mind. Of course, you know, we got that October 25th card coming up, and yeah, that's going to be smoking. But also we got Steven Nelson versus Reiko Santana on the undercard of Bud and Canelo, where Steven Nelson is the heavy favorite, minus 320 so far. Also, what we looking forward to, let's see, Sergey Boachuk versus Brandon Adams, man. And this is interesting because Boachuk is coming in at minus 500. And the reason that that's interesting is that Brandon Adams has already beat Sergey Boachuk. So this is a rematch. And Boachuk is coming in as the heavy favorite. Boachuk, a bad man. You know, we know his power. Some say he's really reminiscent of Dimitri Perot from back in the day. And yo, Boachuk is a handful for anybody to deal with. We seen Virgil had to deal with him, and he gave Virgil pretty much all that he can handle. And there's a lot of people who think that he beat Virgil Ortiz. So this is going to be an interesting scrap. This is a rematch. This is Boachuk trying to go back in there and rewrite that wrong that happened on his record. And like I said, for him to be the favorite in a rematch to a fight that he lost, that's something interesting, very interesting. Christian and Billy versus Lester Martinez. There's a lot of flair behind Lester Martinez. He's the underdog going into this fight. We know that this is a guy that's coming out of Bud Crawford's gym. This is one of Bud Crawford's stablemates right here, Lester Martinez. Some say one of the main guys that's been helping prepare Bud Crawford for Canelo Alverez. And he's going to be fighting on the undercard as well. However, he's approaching this fight as the underdog to the now hot Christian and Billy, who's been getting jobs done. You know what I mean? Impressing fans along the way. He's coming in as the minor favorite. And this is going to be a real good scrap. Some believe that the winner of this scrap can possibly be the future of the weight class of 168 pounds. So this is going to be an interesting scrap to keep our eyes on the undercard of Bud and Canelo, of course. And I don't know, man. I think I favor in Billy, though I like Lester Martinez, and, you know, I root for Crawford in his gym. But I think I like in Billy here, man. This is going to be a real close fight, man, as you can tell by the betting odds here. And we're gonna definitely wait and see how that plays out. Let's see here. Callum Walsh and Fernando Vargas Jr. is going to be on that undercard, with this being a pretty much close contested fight as well. Don't really got a favorite here, just more of a best man wins. And as far as Canelo versus Crawford so far, nothing is really moving, Canelo fans. What's going on? Talk to me. When are y'all going to start believing in your boy, man? I don't get it. I'm tripping. Like, why is he only minus 180 and why is Bud only plus 145? We can do better. We can do much better. What are y'all waiting for? You're pulling up in here every week, all over YouTube, all over social, talking about how Canelo gonna, you know, walk through Crawford, but ain't nobody putting no money where their mouth at. What's up with this? Why is he only minus 180? I really am lost, man. I really am lost, man. But however, Canelo Alvarez, the small, slight favorite, overturns Bud Crawford in the betting odds right now, which I thought that, you know, with Canelo's fan base, man, and, you know, all of this stuff, I thought that it would be definitely a bigger margin, man. Like, y'all really disappointing me right there, man. And I'm really looking forward to Monster Inoue versus MJ. This is going to be happening the following day, September the 14th, right after Crawford and Canelo. So look like we're going to be served up with a nice little treat right here that weekend. That whole weekend going to be a banging boxing weekend, fight fans. We got Monster Inoue on Sunday. And, of course, we got Crawford and Canelo on Saturday. So this is going to be flame. I'm super with it. I'm super with it. Unified champion Gabriela Fundora returns back to the ring. Sabastian Fundora's sister comes back September the 20th, fight fans. I will be looking forward to seeing return of Gabriela Fundora. You know what I'm saying? She's been a bit of a phenom herself over there in women's boxing, getting all of those belts and shit. You know what I'm saying? Let's see here. We got Boots Ennis versus Usima Lima, of course. 2,000 minus 2,000 as for Jerron Ennis coming in as the super heavy favorite over Usima Lima, whom pretty much nobody knows at this moment. You know what I'm saying? And it's funny, man. I was just listening to Virgil Ortiz. Virgil Ortiz said exactly what we thought, fight fans. Virgil Ortiz says, yo, man, I don't know what the hell Eddie Hearn is talking about with this January date. He says, yo, Eddie Hearn basically doesn't do any business on my behalf. He's running around here telling the world that me and Boots Ennis is going to be fighting in January when I'm not going to be ready to fight in January if I'm fighting in November. That's according to Virgil Ortiz. So just like we all figured, and we was hoping that we were wrong, but it looked like Eddie Hearn is out here basically making his own news and just doing a bunch of narrative and clout chasing and creating. Doesn't look like Virgil Ortiz is fully on board with the Boots Ennis situation. Virgil says he's moving to his own beat. He's tired of waiting for people. He's waited for Boots. He's waited for this guy, that guy. There's articles out now stating that Virgil offered fights to Jamel Charlo. I mean, don't know if that's true or not, but there's articles out saying that Virgil tried to get that fight as well. And so Virgil is now basically saying that he's moving to his own beat. And if Boots, he wants to fight with Boots, but you know, when the fight was on the table, Boots and them turned it down. So here we are, man. So hopefully, you know, next year We get Boots Ennis versus Virgil Ortiz. I'm keeping my fingers, toes, knees crossed, everything crossed, fight fans. And I mean, what can I say, bro? What can I say? All I can say is I can hope we get the fight, but this is tune-up 1 of 2 tune-ups for Jerron Boots Ennis. Whatever, cuz, yeah, whatever, you know. Like I told y'all, I'm not super against the tune-ups. I mean, I would have preferred 1. If we're going to do a tune-up, we talking 2 tune-ups and shit, you know, whatever. You know what I mean? Whatever. I don't know. All I know is that the prime window of Jerron Boots Ennis is wide open, and I do hope that him and his side take advantage. That's all I can say about that, fight fans. But as of right now, according to Virgil Ortiz, he don't know what the hell Eddie Hearn is talking about. You know what I mean? What up to my main man G Benson in the house? What's up, G Benson? What's going on? What it do, main man? Want to hear your thoughts on Paul and Tank possibly being put on pause by the Georgia State Athletic Commission. I'll believe it if it go down, even if it's not there. The money will win out. Well, yeah, I heard a little bit about it. About the Georgia Athletic Commission having an issue with Tank and Jake Paul because of the weight disparity, right? Now, word on the curb is that they're going to be meeting at some sort of 180 something, 185, I think it is, catch weight is what they're looking at. Honestly, if Georgia stops it, they got every reason to do it. These type of fights shouldn't happen. I know we're talking about money and all of this other jazz, but man, look, there is an aspect of safety here, fight fans. Let's call it for what it is. I know we sit here, we love blood and guts, but if the wrong punch land on Tank Davis from 200+ pound, possibly Jake Paul, then what would that look like? There is a safety concern in it. It just really is. I don't think that Georgia would stop it on the premise of it being a circus thing or whatever. It is a safety concern. If something go wrong, that goes wrong on their watch. That goes wrong on their watch. When investigations get triggered behind something like that, guess who the first ones get pulled into an office? The folks from the Georgia State Athletic Commission. Why are y'all okay with something like this happening in your state, in your jurisdiction? These questions would be asked of those commission officials. You know what I mean? So they have to think about this from their standpoint. Like, if we okay this and something go left, then guess what? We're going to have to answer some questions. And we can't sit there and tell the man that, hey, we did it because of how much money that they were paying us. That ain't going to pass the smell test in a court of law. So, yeah, man, I mean, I think that they're right to have these type of, you know, thoughts or whatever. You know what I mean? I mean, these things can honestly happen. So, yeah, man, but will it stop it? We know at the end of the day, money talks, bullshit walks. This is boxing we talking about. And like you said in your comment right here, G. Benson, at the end of the day, money may rule the day. Money is going to more than likely rule the day on that situation. But I honestly think that they should take a second look and say, hey, well, maybe we can adjust some things here. Maybe we get him down to a lower weight. If Jake comes in at 68 or 65, and Tank comes up a couple, then maybe they can find a better place to meet. But they talking 185. That's a lot of weight, Joe. That's a lot of weight. So I mean, yeah, man, I'm back to Georgia State Athletic Commission for stopping and taking a second look. But they know their asses will be in a sling if something goes left. You know what I'm saying? And that's being honest. That's being honest. Look to my main man, Muhammad Tola. It's good. We good to go, fight fans. Let's get it crack-a-lacking. What up, fam? What did I miss? Man, we talked about Blockbuster Video, man. We talked about Blockbuster Video, bro. You know what I mean? Man, did you do the homework that I gave you? Nah, man, I ain't get a chance to sit down and do that. You know what I mean? I ain't get a chance to sit down and do that, but I will. What up to my main man, DGO, man? DGO, what's good? What's good? Salute, man. Nobody wants to see Shrek beat up on a rainbow chasing leprechaun. Shrek beating on a rainbow chasing leprechaun? Who you talking about? Oh, you talking about Jake Paul and Tank? Man, you know, that's not my thing, but I don't want to see it. I'll be covering Tank Davis once he becomes a fighter again. Once Tank Davis becomes an actual boxer or a fighter again, fight fans, we'll be back covering Tank Davis on the regular. But as for what G. Benson was talking about right here, with this whole, you know, Georgia State Athletic Commission, I'm with it, man. I'm super with it, and I think that they should continue to do what they're doing, bro. Real talk. So yeah, man. So we, you know, Jerron Ennis versus Usama Lima. Jerron Ennis -2,000. He's probably like the only -2,000 on the entire board, man. Why does Boots Ennis got to be the only minus 2,000 on the board? Damn, man. You know what I'm saying? That's crazy. You don't see nobody else minus 2,000 but Jerron tune-up Ennis ass. Like, come on, fight fans. God damn. Joshua Buatsi versus Zach Parker. This should be interesting. I favor Buatsi for sure, but over there in the UK, man, this one should definitely be interesting. I might keep my third eye open for this one right here, man. Real spill. Virgil Ortiz versus Erickson Lubin going down Saturday, November the 8th. Virgil Ortiz coming in as the heavy favorite thus far. It's kind of early, but Virgil Ortiz approaching this fight at minus 600, everybody. Erickson Lubin plus 400. I think this is a good-ass fight, bro. Really raised the thing close fight. Salute the PBC. Salute the Golden Boy for coming together on this one. This is a good fight, man. This is a really good fight. Lubin is on pretty much a second chance, and he can't afford a loss against Virgil Ortiz. He walked away from a title shot between him and Bakram and going into a more notable fight between him and Virgil, man. Respect. But really good fight right here. I lean Virgil for sure in this fight. But I think that Lubin gets lured into those brawls, get lured into those wars. And I think that is going to favor Virgil Ortiz, who I think is a better puncher than Lubin. And I think we got a good matchup here, man. But I favor Virgil Ortiz for sure, man. Virgil Ortiz for sure. We got Chris Eubank Jr. versus Conor Benn, November the 15th. Chris Eubank Jr. right now, the slight favorite, not by much, but the slight favorite. I'd probably honestly in a rematch. I think I'd probably still lean for Eubank, mainly because Conor Benn is just too undisciplined for me, man. He's so big on just trying to. I seen him recently with Shakur Stevenson in a back and forth, and I got to tell you, but he looking at Shakur. Oh, you're boring, and I'm so exciting. You're a boxer, I'm a fighter. They back and forth on Ariel Helwani show. You're a boxer. And it's like, bro, you just don't learn. You in this, I could take your head off mentality is your downfall. You keep on with this, I could take everybody head off mentality shit. That's Conor Benn we talking about. That's what the shit that's getting you beat. You going in there swinging for the fences. You do that against a Shakur Stevenson, and he gonna box your face off. Period. He gonna box your face off. You know what I'm saying? Simple as that. So, but Conor Benn, man, I don't bet on this discipline, man. He's just way too emotional. And I think that Chris Eubank still may get him in a rematch. You know what I mean? Subriel Matias versus Dalton Smith. Really interesting right here. This is a mandatory bout. From what I understand, with Subriel Matias just recently winning his championship back. So should be an interesting fight right here. Dalton Smith claims that he's ready. Subriel Matias is always exciting to watch. He's coming in as the slight favorite. I would definitely lean for Matias. Abdullah Mason versus Sam Noakes coming up on November the 22nd. Abdullah Mason's first world title shot coming in as the super heavy favorite. So I'm definitely leaning towards Abdullah. It just seemed like it's just his time. It's just his time, everybody. Jesse Bam Rodriguez versus Fernando Martinez going down on that same card, November the 22nd, with Bam is coming in as the super favorite, top 5 pound for pound fighter right there in Jesse Bam Rodriguez. Salute to Bam, you know what I'm saying? Salute to Bam. Brian Norman Jr. versus Devin Haney. What? Check it out. That Brian Norman still is the favorite for the upcoming fight between him and Devin Haney. Interesting, bruh. The money has not poured in on Haney. Haney Nation, what's up, man? Haney Nation, what's going on? Y'all got the money going in on Brian? What? The new guy, the new champ, the new arrival. They say he cornbread fed, man. He's cornbread fed, and the power is going to be too much for Devin Haney to deal with. And the money is showing. I haven't seen Devin Haney in the negative since the betting has started for this fight, and this is interesting, bruh. Very interesting. So right now, going into this fight, even though Devin Haney is proven unified, undisputed, something like that, all of that stuff, the money still is going towards Brian Norman Jr., the new champ. Y'all don't believe that, and there's still a lot of fans out there that believe that Devin Mills may still got that PTSD from Ryan. I look on socials the other day, I see Ryan going back and forth with Bill Haney, talking about no matter what, the damage I did to your son is irreversible. I mean, he's waving this around like a badge of honor. Like, bro, like what I did to Devin Haney, messing him up. Oh, yeah. Yeah, he'll never be the same again. Say what you want about me and this, that, and the third. I'm a bum. I ain't never been a champ, but I messed Devin Haney up. And he wears that shit as a badge of honor. Interesting, bro. So, Devin, man, you gonna have to shake that jacket off. Let the world know that you do not got PTSD. And the reason that you fought Jose Ramirez the way you fought him, because you just did not want to tussle on the inside with Ramirez. Last but not least, David Benavidez versus Anthony Yarde, with my main man David Benavidez coming in as the heavy favorite. Salute to David. I got David stopping Anthony Yarde sometime mid to late. And so I think the money is definitely going to be appropriate for this fight. You know what I mean? So interesting set of fights that we got coming up, fight fans. And once again, those set of fights with the addition of the October the 25th PBC card that we got so far. And so far, man, this is what boxing is looking like towards the end of the year. So I'll let y'all be the judge of whether or not this is a strong year, a strong finish so far. Is there anything that we are missing that y'all may or may not want to see? Just let me know. You know what I mean? But I think that that's the way boxing is looking as we closing on out. You know what I'm saying? G. Benson says, I totally agree. Boxing needs to stop these sideshows, man. Yeah, you know, it does, man. Especially, once again, when you're talking about safety. Something can go left in some of these situations, and that's when things are going to get a second look. We know how this shit be playing out, man. Things don't change until something happens, right? Something got to happen, and then people are going to say, oh, you know what? We maybe have to now put more rules around this or put more rules around that. But as long as this much money is involved and these greedy ass promoters and shit, man, we know how this thing gonna play out. You know what I'm saying? Real spill. Speaking of side shows, let's get to something else real quick, fight fans. Speaking of side shows, oh man, first off, let me stop right here. I gotta stop right here because I love when boxing responds to when we got questions. All right, look, I've been asking about this guy, and y'all been coming through here every week. Main man, why are you speaking about Fat Boy? Main man, why are you speaking about Fat Boy? And I've been telling y'all, you know, Andy Ruiz may be our last hope. Andy Ruiz may be the last heavyweight on American soil that we can look forward to seeing and saying that, you know what, man, you know, this is our last chance right here. You know, why ain't nobody giving Andy a second look or a third look? And we know he beat AJ. AJ owes him a third fight. Andy has actually been looking good in his last few fights against Luis Ortiz and guys like that, getting the job done. He did get put down, I think, against Luis Ortiz, right? He did get put down, but still, he's been winning fights. He hasn't been losing. He's been seeming more slimmed down, at least the last few times that we saw him. And, you know, he's been looking more slimmer down. So our question has been, you know, where's Andy Ruiz? If Jared Anderson is going to have the attitude about boxing that he's going to have, if Deontay Wilder is on his last, you know, few hurrahs, who we talking about next in line over here? They got Moses Atom out there doing his thing, and everybody is like, yo, Moses is the next guy up. So I'm like, hold on, we got one more left, and that is Andy Ruiz. And so I need to see some recent videos and pictures of Andy so we can know what he looks like. Well, once again, boxing has responded, and I'll put it right here on your screen. We got some recent videos of Andy Ruiz, fight fans. And so if this is Andy, you know what I'm saying? And I gotta honestly say, and salute to Andy for not putting no music in this, man. Let's look at Andy. Andy looking good. Y'all tripping, bro. Run it back, man. Run it back. Run it back. Yeah. Yeah. Okay. Man, look, man. Hey, look here, man. Look here, man. Andy looking good, fight fans. Can we stop it now? Can we stop it with he's still a blimp? Can we stop it with Andy is in the taco jokes? Can we stop it with Andy in the burrito jokes now, fight fans? We see Andy Ruiz. He's in the gym. He ain't looking like a blimp. That means he's still on the scene. That means that Moses Atama need to see this man. That's what this means, fight fans. Now, y'all want to crown Moses the future and all of that. And Andy ain't got his cracks at Usyk. Andy ain't never get his cracks at his Joseph Parker rematch. Yo, we not writing off the last heavyweight on American soil. Give him his opportunities. Before y'all write off the American heavyweights, You got Deontay. Last we heard, Turkey Al-Sheikh got him and Deontay Wilder as some sort of greeters, right, for the Canelo and Crawford card. Like that's a joke, bro. That's disrespectful on so many levels. You know what I mean? They being greeters at Canelo and Crawford's. It's some sort of event. We covered this last week. So now Andy, listen, Andy is in fight shape, bro. Andy is ready to go. And I ain't counting Andy Ruiz out. Andy got fast hands. The hands still looking fast, fight fans. Look at this. Look at that. Look at that. Come on. Man, saying, look, he's throwing 3-4. He's throwing 4-piece combinations right here, bro. Like, come on, bro. Ain't these heavyweights today ain't throwing 4-piece combinations like that. You getting big 1-2s. Man, I say, look, put Andy in the mix before we write off the American heavyweight scene. No. We got Andy Ruiz, and we rocking with Andy. Until Jared Anderson get his head back squared away, get his head on straight, you make a couple of dollars and he actually start acting like boxing don't matter. You know what I mean? Hey, Jared Anderson, that was a drop in the bucket of what you could have made after that Martin Bacoli fight. You could have done way better financially in today's game if you stay dedicated to your craft. But right now, all I know is this is the guy that I'm looking forward to seeing fight because I want to see what he looks like. He's clearly doing business with Turkey Al-Sheikh. Turkey is using him as some sort of greeter. So that means that the business, the bridge for the business is there. David Benavidez is over there with Turkey. So miss me with Andy, the PBC fighter, can't go and fight on Turkey cards. All of that is null and void. You know what I mean? I need Andy in the heavyweight mix. Stop writing him off. And I see they maybe even trying to put Andy versus Wilder. That's cool and all that. We had that shit might have sailed. You know what I'm saying? If we get that fight, I'll be with it. But at the end of the day, I want to see Andy go over there and see if he can disrupt the UK like he did once before. Let's not act like he don't got the track record that he ain't never done it. You dig? So at the end of the day, UK and Saudis, Turkey, look, we got Andy, homie. What y'all gonna do about it? You know what I'm saying? What y'all gonna do about it, man? Let's look at Andy one last time before we move on. Yeah. Look at that there. That left hook was the punch from the gods. Punch from the gods, baby. Bring on Andy Ruiz, fight fans, all day. You know what I mean? So yeah, man, I'm glad to get that answer, man. I'm glad to get that answer. They let that little video out I think a day or two ago. So salute to Andy Ruiz and his entire corner. We will be waiting and watching, brother. Yes, sir. My man DIL87 says Andy Ruiz is Mexican, man. He's just a Mexican that speaks English. And when he won the title, he went down as the first Mexican to win the heavyweight title. Well, look, brother, he fights out of America, man. Now, look, we gonna have to lay claims to Andy. Andy has been an American for as far as I can remember. You know what I'm saying? So, no, I don't think that Andy lives in Mexico. Andy lives here in America. He's out in Cali, right? Nah, man, Andy is an American, brother. You know what I mean? We claim an American. You right? They did give him that credit though as the first Mexican heavyweight champion. He has Mexican descent, but he has American nationality. That's what matters. You know what I mean? So that's all good stuff, man. Salute to my man Andy Ruiz, and we wishing him nothing but the best. Get into the mix and show them that you still got something left in the tank, and I will be rooting for Andy Ruiz. You know what I'm saying? Let's keep it pushing, man. And once again, speaking about sideshows, like my man G. Benson was just talking about a little while ago, we just see this is now fresh off the presser, fight fans. Have y'all seen this? Mike Tyson versus Floyd Money Mayweather. What the hell? What the hell, bro? Let's read this here, man. I'm going to read straight from Boxing News 24. It's the lead article over there on Boxing News 24, man. Mike Tyson and Floyd Mayweather, two of sports' most iconic names, have signed with CSI Sports Fight Sports to face each other in spring of 2026. The date and venue remains under wraps, but the deal is done. Tyson, the youngest heavyweight champion in history, and Mayweather, boxing's unbeaten 50-0 defensive genius, will finally share a ring. Let's stop right there. So speaking of circus and sideshows, here we go. Tyson versus Mayweather fight, fans. Now this, it gets no more circus than this, my guess is, right? Tyson versus Mayweather. Here we go. So my thing is this, man. Whatever. You know what I mean? Two great fighters. Once again, they're best of behind. They're not real. They're not active fighters. They're in their retirement. I don't got a problem with it. Some may say, well, man, the weight thing, between Floyd, who's a former welterweight, Tyson is a heavyweight. Tyson is 60 years old. You know what I'm saying? He's 60, damn near 60 years old. So Tyson ain't hurting nothing. I don't care if it's Mayweather. If Mayweather was 100 pounds soaking wet. At this point in Tyson's life, he ain't hurting shit. You know what I mean? This is just pure entertainment right now. And the reason I don't have a problem with this so much is that, once again, these are two fighters that dazzled us for years, gave us the fights that we want to see, did some of the most legendary things in the sport of boxing. So, of course, they should be able to capitalize off the names that they built. I've always felt this way. My issues with these sideshow things is when we're talking about active fighters that still got a lot of work to do in the game, such as a Gervonta Tank Davis. There's nothing that no one can talk about that makes me think otherwise in the Tank situation. Man, it's 100 million. It's 200 million. So what? That money is in boxing for Tank. He can go fight Shakur. He can go and fight Devin. I don't want to hear it. You know what I'm saying? I'm a boxing fan. I'm not going to sit here and just cheer for some fighter getting rich just because. Y'all do that dumb sucker shit. You know what I'm saying? But in this case, where you got two guys who are legends to a certain degree, and they are just, and like I always say, instead of allowing others to capitalize off the legacy and name that they built, they do it themselves. I can respect that. You know what I'm saying? And this, once again, what Tyson and Mayweather is doing, to you kids out there, pay attention. This is what legacy does. When we talk about legacy and belts, and I don't give a damn about legacy, when you hear fighters say that dumb shit, oh, I don't care about belts, I don't care about legacy, it's all about the money. Understand, the ones that talk that way are the ones that go broke. Oh, it's all about the money. I got to make as much money. Yeah, you got to understand. I don't care what you make it, how much you keeping. And most of those fighters, they need the money because they ain't keeping no money. You see what I'm saying? But those who fight according to legacy know that as long as my legacy is good, the money will come. How much money did we hear about Alexander Usyk making against in his last fight against Dubois? Like 150 million. When the hell did Alexander Usyk become the greatest ticket seller in the world? Or is it that his legacy speaks for itself, that there's some people that came along that was willing to pay him according to the worth of his legacy? What did it work like that? Bud Crawford, same thing. Oh, he wasn't never the popular kid coming from Omaha. Meanwhile, now his next fight, he's going to be rumored to be making $50 million. But all Bud Crawford has ever cared about his entire career was legacy, 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 legacy. This is the importance of legacy, the ability to sell yourself when the fight game is over. That's why legacy is so damn important, fight fans. That's why when you hear these youngsters talk about, I don't care about legacy or whatever, that's because you young and you don't know what the hell you're talking about. But when your ass turn 33, 34, 35 and you still fighting, you're going to, maybe you're not financially at where you need to be. You came across that piranha manager. You came across that shiesty promoter that's taking money out of your pocket. And now you 33, 34 years old looking up like, damn, my career is almost over. But yet and still, I didn't give the fans the fights that they want to see. So now, after it's over, I'm going to be have to take a 9-to-5 job because I can't go off and do exhibitions. I can't go off and do, have my own promotional company and stuff that people give a damn about because I ain't got no legacy. No one don't care. This is the importance. Your legacy sustains you post the bright lights. And Tyson can go off and get these big fights, these big exhibitions against Roy Jones and Jake Paul and Floyd Mayweather because of the things that Tyson did. He got in there with Larry Holmes. He got in there with Evander Holyfield. You know what I'm saying? Floyd Mayweather. He got in there with 21 world champions. And so now, post their retirement, they can go off and make all of the money that they want and do what they want to do because they did that. And that's all we asking of a Tank Davis. Even with Bud Crawford, when his career is over, if he want to go off and fight Jake Paul or Logan Paul or any of the after the Canelo fight, if he want to say, hey, I want to go and fight Jake Paul next, who gonna have a problem with it? Who gonna say something? Who gonna say something wrong with that? Bud Crawford has been undisputed in multiple classes. He can do what he wants. You got fighters out here talking about something I could do what I want and ain't done shit. That's the worst, bro. You know what I'm saying? I hate a privileged fighter who don't even know what it takes. You know what I'm saying? Real spill, bro. Real spill, man. Man, Andy is a Mexican flying the Mexican flag on American soil. So you calling him an imposter, bro? You trying to say that Andy is an imposter? You know what I'm saying? Man, I don't know, man. I'm adopting Andy, man. I'm adopting Andy, man. But as far as Floyd and Mike Tyson, you know, may the best man win. May they make all of the money that they so hot desire, man. And you know, I'm gonna check it out. It should be something fun to watch. And I just wish for the safety of Mike Tyson more than anything. Mike Tyson doesn't need exhibition or not. He don't really need to be in the ring doing none of this shit. You know what I'm saying? That's being honest. He should have made enough money thus far from the exhibitions that he's already been doing. Not to mention all of the money that I'm sure he charges for public appearances and stuff like that. Mike should be set. You know what I mean? But Mike's that's my biggest concern. Mike's you know, age and safety and stuff like that. So hopefully everything works out well and nothing doesn't go left for Mike Tyson. Mike Tyson. Let's get to this story right here. Here's another small little story that's creeping out on the airways. Jaime Munguia supposedly gets cleared, fight fans. Allegedly. Let's read here. We got some news out. Now they are trying to reverse the Jaime Munguia situation, man. So according to the reports, it says that a urine sample taken from Munguia on May 4th, one day after his rematch, returned an adverse analytical finding for exogenous or origin of testosterone metabolites. Basically, he tested dirty against Bruno Sirachi. It says that the WBC, the British Boxing Board of Control, and the United Kingdom Anti-Doping, aka UKAD, all determined that the former WBO super welterweight champion had unintentionally ingested the banned substance. A report from the WBC stated that the initial positive result was caused by contaminated dietary supplements, fight fans. And as a result, Munguia will not face any sanctions, while his victory over Sirachi will stand. So we'll leave it there, fight fans. So they're not going to overturn Munguia's victory over Sirachi that he tested positive in. Now, here's my deal. Whatever, cuz at this point right now, it seems to me that the damage may have already been done. Munguia's situation plays into a bigger narrative coming out of that Canelo gym, right? So it's almost like, yeah, you can come out today and say, yeah, he's clear. Yeah, he didn't do this. He didn't do that. But look, the damage is done, bro. We got 7 fighters. And regardless of what supplements they want to come up with, we know how this all goes. We've seen this a billion times. The damage is done, bro. The jacket is on them. 7 fighters out of that gym. You're going to tell me it's like you came from the hub, bro. You came from the actual place where things can get bad. Stand by for 1 second, fam. I got to tend to my dog. Give me 1 second because he is whining. I can hear him right behind me. Stand by for 1 second and we're going to pick up on this Munguia story. Give me 1 second. Sorry about that, fight fans. My apologies. You know how it goes sometimes, man. Sometimes your dog, they'll wait till you're in the middle of something, then act like they got to run outside real quick. So I just had to let him out back. So we good to go. But like I was saying, though, fight fans, with Jaime Munguia. So Jaime Munguia, like, to me, the damage has already kind of like been done. It's like, yo, you came from a gym that has the reputation that it has. Y'all can come out with whatever story you can come out with today, but it's going to be hard for people to change the people's minds. You know what I'm saying? So, I mean, I hear him. So officially, they're saying that it was contaminated supplements. You know how this game is played, fight fans. They'll come out with something. But as of right now, officially, Jaime Munguia has been cleared in the public in as far as boxing is concerned. But on the minds of boxing fans, that's, well, I'll let the chips fall where they may. Yes, y'all call. We say y'all, you know what I mean? Salute to Keisha Sellers in the house. What's up, sis? Much love, and thanks for coming on through, rocking out with me tonight. Salute. Much love. Who that right there? Who that? Salute DGO. See, okay, yeah. Much love though, man. But yeah, man, so, you know, Jaime Munguia, man, we wish you nothing but the best, brother, but people gonna think what they gonna think. You came from Reynoso's gym. What about the six? It's one thing to say, yo, he came from another gym or something like that, but yo, you came from the dirtiest gym in the sport. It's gonna be hard for people to change their minds on this. You know what I'm saying? So it is what it is, man. So let's keep on pushing, fight fans. Let's keep on pushing. So I know y'all didn't seen this. So we got some good news right here. Now, this right here is something that I am very, very, very happy to see. Now, we've been kind of keeping our eye on this on the channel, what's going to happen between Shakur and Teofimo Lopez. And according to some of the recent articles coming out this week about this fight, it looks like we are approaching a final talk stage when it comes to Shakur and Teofimo Lopez. So according to according to Talk Sports, and I'll read straight from Talk Sports, Stevenson, the reigning WBC lightweight champion, intends to move up to super lightweight to challenge Lopez for his WBO belt. According to Boxing Scene, Stevenson has agreed to terms to presented to him by Saudi power broker Turki Al-Sheikh. Lopez appears to be equally receptive, judging from his recent social media activity. And they got him quoted, "I've already accepted the fight. I'll see you the beginning of the year." So it says that, however, the Saudis are conscious of the fact that Lopez recently withdrew from Devin Haney on August the 16th. It goes on and says that they got Stevenson quoted, and I quote, "I'm going to beat Teo, get the WBO super lightweight title, and I'm going to vacate, and Keyshawn Davis can get the belt. That'll be his belt. That's Keyshawn's division, and I want him to go and do everything. I'm a 135 pounder. I'm not 140." End quote. But you shouldn't say that, Shakur. You know what I mean? Don't tell everybody you're not a 140 pounder if you're going to be going to 140 to fight Teo. You know what I'm saying? But let me just say here, man, congratulations to Shakur Stevenson, and I hope that this gets across the finish line. This has been a fight that I think that should have been, you know, long overdue. This is, to me, one of Shakur Stevenson's super fight. Once again, another fighter from that generation stepping in there with the top name. Everybody's doing it with the exception of Tank Davis. He's not even doing freaking rematches. You know what I'm saying? Shakur going in there with Teo. Devin is going in there with Brian Norman Jr. Shit, even Abdullah Mason getting his first title shot. Schofield is looking to make a top fight in this next fight. Everybody's doing the right shit except Tank. You know what I'm saying? I'm even hearing talks about Lamont Roach and possibly Isaac Pitbull Cruz. That's a dangerous fight. You know what I'm saying? Everybody can do what they got to do except Tank. Get his ass on deck. You know what I'm saying? Get his ass on deck. But in this case right here, bro, this is a good ass fight. Shakur versus Teo. Hey, look, you got now Shakur being the boxer, Teo being the boxer puncher. I think that both men got a ton of experience going into this fight. Teo's been in there with, you know, the likes of a Lomachenko. Of course, he's been out there in foreign countries with Kambosos. You know what I mean? He's been in there with the Nakatanis and the Komeis and shit of the world. Like, Teo's been gathering a ton of experience. Just recently beating Arnold Barboza pretty one-sidedly. You know what I'm saying? Teo, aside from his lunchboxness, you know, when it comes in that ring, he's a damn good fighter. And most importantly, he's seen superior boxers, say like a Vasyl Lomachenko, and he's dealt with that. And the way that Teo has dealt with that is through patience. And this is something like Shakur is going to be facing the same way that Bud is going with Canelo. Shakur has the tools to deal with Teo, sure, to box with him, to move, the reflexes, the defensive mindedness. He has all of that things to deal with Teo. But however, Teo is not no straight up and down special effects fighter, meaning that he has experience also going in there with fighters that are similar to what Shakur can do. And that's going to play out heavily in the fight. And this is why you don't need Shakur Stevenson telling everybody, oh, I'm not a 140 pounder, because Teo going to look at that like, oh, yeah, you light in the ass, you little. I'm not scared about your boxing ability. I've been in there with the great Vasyl Lomachenko, the same guy that Shakur Stevenson claimed he was looking up to at once upon a time. And I handled your guy. And so Shakur got to understand, but when you get in there with Teo, this is not going to be a walk in the park. It's going to be something to figure out. And Shakur claims that he's going back down to 135 pounds. So it's going to make us wonder, like, do you got power enough? Do you feel like you got enough power to get in there and to deal with what Teo likes to bring into a fight? You know what I'm saying? Gonna be real interesting, fight fans. Salute to my main man, D-Lo 404 Boxing, man. Coming on through. What's up with you, bruh? And much love, much love, much love. Things can go real left here, man. Things can go real left for Shakur here, and things can go left for Teo. The good thing is that I see that it's Shakur seeming like that he's hunting down this fight. He knows what to expect in this fight. And I think that honestly, he knows that, look, this is not going to be a walk in the park even with Teo. Teo can box. Teo can fight. Teo can brawl. There's levels and layers to Teo's game, just like there's levels and layers to Shakur's game. The question is what is the thing that Shakur is going to look to take away from Teo? Teo don't mind hunting down guys. What was the dude he fought at 140? Sandor Martin. Same, he had to hunt him down. Now, he didn't seem as Teo-like, you know what I'm saying, in that fight. And a lot of the stuff that Sandor Martin did do, I do think that Shakur can emulate, you know what I'm saying? And correct me if I'm wrong, but Sandor put Teo down. And so, I mean, a lot of that can be emulated, but once again, Teo has the experience of dealing with these kind of dudes. The question is, on Shakur's end, does he got the experience of dealing with anyone like Teo? And you can look back and say, well, can't say Valdez was a Teo. Can't say Heron was a Teo. You know, we didn't really get much at 35 thus far. You know what I'm saying? That's Teo-like. The De Los Santos fight, main man, you know, De Los Santos can punch. And Shakur ain't want to tussle with him. And we know that Teo can punch. And Shakur gonna want to tussle with him. Shakur says he had a hand injury. Says his hand was injured. You know what I mean? So say what you want. But the answer is probably no, to be real with you. As much as I think, if I think hard enough, no. The answer may just be no. Has Shakur dealt with anyone like Teo? That is a that may be a no. Has Shakur fought anyone to prepare him for a Teo? And Shakur's last few fights have been like, Padleys and shit. You know what I'm saying? Padleys and shit, fight fans. Lord. Stand by for a second, man. Let me see it. Padleys and shit. Yeah, I mean, Yoshinos. Yeah. Haratanians. Put it on the screen real quick, fight fans, so we can all follow. I don't know. Y'all maybe can answer this better than I can. I don't see the guy. I don't know. I could be wrong here, but maybe it's some main man. You know, I think that this fight is perfectly the one that sets up Teo. I mean, that sets up Shakur for this fight. What fight are we talking about? Let's see here. Zepeda was a stalker, flat-footed. No. Padley, no. Artem, no. De Los Santos, he was injured in that fight, but De Los Santos still, to me, doesn't have the layers of a Teo. No. Yoshino, no. Conceição, no. Valdez, Herring, no. Nakatilia, no. And the rest ain't even worth mentioning. This is going to be a handful for Shakur Stevenson. Shakur has fought nothing like Teo, bro. Nothing. He's fought nothing like Teo. This scares me, man. This scares me. Teo is no strength. As bimbo-ish as he is, he's no stranger to the boxer style. He's no stranger to that whatsoever. And these two are former sparring partners. So Shakur even knows. Teo is not, he wasn't easy to deal with in the little bit of sparring sessions that we saw. Like Teo was holding his own with Shakur. They were young at that time, very young. But yeah, man, I don't know, man. I don't know. This is going to be really interesting right here for Shakur. Let's take a look over here with Teofimo Lopez real quick, man. Let's take a look with Teo. And let's see if we can say the same thing for Teofimo Lopez. Do we got anybody that prepares Teo for what Shakur Stevenson likes to do? Let's see here. Let's put it here on the screen. And let's see what we got. Barboza, he's no Shakur. Claggett, no. Jermaine Ortiz, no. Josh, he got Josh, fight fans. He got Josh. I forgot about Josh. Josh, a former undisputed champion, bro. Shit, bruh. He got Josh, bro. He got Josh. That's a hell of a win. That's a hell of a win. Sandor Martin fight, the one that we was just talking about. Sandor posed problems for Teo. And a lot of people may say, well, man, Teo had problems there because he was going through so much outside of the ring as well at that time. He was dealing with the wife situation. He was dealing with the whole, fallout of losing his belt. The inactivity thing was going on with him. He had a lot going on outside the ring. And that Sandor fight, is that not the fight that he asked, do I still got it? Like, do I still got it? Wasn't it that fight right there? So he wasn't in the head all the way, Teo, to a certain degree. But Sandor definitely showed us that that movement and that mobility can pose some problems for Teo if he don't feel like coming after you. And Teo barely won that fight by a split decision. Got put on his ass in that fight. Losing the fight to Kambosos. Once again, Teo was messed up in the head during this time, I believe. He was still going through so much outside of the ring, going through shit with Top Rank, having Devin Haney scheme on him with Kambosos, and they took down Teo. But he got Vasyl Lomachenko, fight fans. And this is when Vasyl Lomachenko won a belt after Teo beat him. So if people want to say, well, Loma wasn't all of this and all of that, Loma won a belt after he lost to Teo. Teo got some hell of experience, bro. These type of fights have prepared Teofimo Lopez properly for a guy like Shakur Stevenson. I'm going to call that for what it is, man. Y'all got to be honest about that. We don't want to give Teo a bunch of credit and all that. I get it. He's a lunchbox. But inside of that ring, he's prepared, bro. This type of level of competition will make you hard for anybody to deal with. He beat Josh. He beat Josh and he beat Lomachenko, bruh. Shakur got to deal with that. Which means that the things that Shakur like to do from boxing and movement, where we've seen Teo become patient and say, I'm just going to deliver a right hand when the right hand is necessary against Lomachenko. Some say, well, in the second half of that fight, Lomachenko started to wake up and run off with it a little bit. And maybe Shakur can do that. But at the end of the day, Teo has shown his patience. And also against Sandor Martin, Teo has shown that, listen, there's points of the fight, I got to cut the ring off, then I'll do it. Even in Barboza in his last fight, Barboza did not really come to exchange with Teo. Barboza talked a good game, but he ain't do shit. It's gonna be a good fight, bro. And Shakur's never fought at 140. Oh Lord, that's a lot to take in right there, man. That's a lot to take in. And it's hard to say which way I'm leaning. My heart is with Shakur. It really is. But I know Teo ain't going to be easy. It's just not going to be easy, fight fans, no matter how we slice it. You know what I'm saying? No matter how we slice it. CTE, weak-ass well water. He won't be the challenge that Zepeda was. You don't think so? You don't think so? Zepeda was basic as hell, bruh. I think Teo got some wrinkles to his game. You know what I'm saying? You see they talking Floyd, attention crave butt versus Mike Tyson. Yeah, I saw that, man. We talked about that just a little while ago. Man, that's crazy, bro. Let them boys make their money, man. If they, they built it. They built that, man. They built that. I can't argue with them making money off of their own, their own name, fight fans, their own name. So it is what it is, man. But Shakur versus Teo, advanced talks, man. Gonna be a real good fight right here. They made my cover. I'm looking forward to the fight, and may the best man win if we get this. They talking early next year for this fight fans. So let's hope that we get this across the finish line. And according to Shakur Stevenson, if he wins, he's going to leave that belt for his boy Keyshawn Davis. That's what's up. Keyshawn should be coming back to the game sometime next year, huh? He's still on punishment and shit. It's very unfortunate, man. It's very unfortunate. It's going to look like a lot like the Oscar Valdez fight as far as separation. You can say that the Valdez fight may be the one fight out of all of his fights that may be the closest that could prepare him for Teofimo Lopez. I would probably say Valdez would be the closest out of all of them. And Valdez likes to push forward. Valdez is not as intricate as Teo, not nearly as intricate, you know what I'm saying? But out of all of the ones that I see for Shakur, I would probably say Valdez deserves to probably be the closest fighter to get him prepared for Teofimo Lopez. Salute to my main man out there, man, always holding me down, always in my corner. Thank you so much, my bro, and much love to you, man. DIL87 out there in the super chat, man. Main man, have you ever seen a fighter hold 3 white ring magazine belts that only awarded to the lineal undisputed champion? Bud has the opportunity on September the 13th. Man, I ain't never seen that shit like that, bro. Never. He'll be in a class of his own. I mean, literally his own category. The Bud category. Can you hold 3 lineals at one time? Can you get 3 lineals? Can you even get them? Most can't even get 1. And he about to get 3 of them bitches. No. I take that back. 4 of them bitches. Hold on. I said 3. Hold on. 40, 47. Okay, yeah, that is 3. Okay, yeah, you're right. 40, 47, 54. I thought he had it at 35 too. Didn't he have it at 35? I thought could be. I gotta polish up on that. I thought he had it at 35 also. This might be number 4. This is number 4, right? Yeah, I think they did give it to him after the Gamboa fight. Yeah, so I think this may be number 4. But that's still impressive, bro. That's just off the chain, bro. It's just, I mean, come on. It don't get no better than that, man. And this is the kid from that people said that shouldn't even been here. You know what I mean? All of the newfound Bud fans. Where were y'all at a few years ago, bro? Where were all of these Bud channels at, man? Like, you know what I'm saying? I see everybody's a Bud fan now, bro. Ain't that funny? Where the hell y'all been, man? Where the hell y'all been? But once again, I'm glad to see Bud getting his flowers. I'm glad to see Bud getting this level of notoriety that he's getting. It's well deserved. It's long overdue. Even if people are Johnny come latelys, a lot of y'all may have been doubters for so many years, and now y'all like, you know what, dog? I'm a believer now, so now I'm willing to go all the way in. It is what it is. There's a little bit of room left on the Bud train for some of y'all. Some of y'all just don't want to be on the wrong side of history. Some of y'all are going too far. You know, y'all looking at what happened between Bud and Spence, and y'all thinking that it's going to be just such a clean, thing. And I'm trying to prepare y'all. There's going to be some bumps along the road in this fight. You know what I'm saying? But Bud is still going to get it done. I also listened recently to Bomac in an interview, and they asked Bomac, should I say Bomac asked the dude that was cutting his hair. He was like, well, what beats power? And of course, naturally, the dude was like speed. And that's what we talked about earlier, right? But Bomac also took it a bit further, and he said speed and timing, as if that timing is something that they're going to be working on as well. Now, when we talk about timing on Bud Crawford's side, remember, Canelo Alverez is a good timing fighter too. That kind of fight would make it for a stirring contest. Both men trying to time each other. You know what I'm saying? Bud is a phenomenal timing fighter. But I don't know how much that tool is going to be needed for this, as opposed to, say, a guy like a Earl Spence or someone like that. You know what I'm saying? Canelo's going to be trying to time Bud to try to, get him the way his speed down. But should Bud be trying to time Canelo? I think that Bud should be leaning more on the speedy side of things as opposed to be the timing side of things. Now, if he may want to time him at points when he's going to have to stand his ground, what we were talking about earlier, swimming at mid-range, and he might want to time him at times there, cool. You know what I'm saying? But I think that Bud is going to have to operate more in speed than operating in timing. You know what I'm saying? Now, we'll see how that works out, though. You know what I mean? We'll see how this already works out. Pretty positive he's already 3 times lineal says Al Booker. Yeah, so this will be number 4, right? This would be number 4. Yeah, he was. Yeah, he was. Yeah, I'm telling you, after the Gamboa joint, I think they gave it to him after Gamboa. I could have sworn that was the case. And that's what I say, we've known these stats for so damn long, and I've said them for so damn long, where I guess the information is being pushed out, fight fans. It's being pushed out. You know what I'm saying? So, yeah, man. Let me go over here real quick. Crawford was lineal champion after Juan Manuel Marquez, says D-Lo. Okay, cool. So if he was lineal after Marquez and that was at 35, then yes, he definitely got it at 35. I was pretty sure that was the case. Pretty sure that was the case. So we going for number 4, man. And he'll be a 4-time lineal. Yeah, 4-time lineal. And this is just going to be just, I'm just glad to witness it at the end of the day. Like I told folks, man, to those folks that was going down crazy road and conspiracy road and trying to get some attention for yourself, just to be a nut, you know what I'm saying? Just to be a crazy, just to say, hey, look at me. I do boxing talk too. Bud Crawford is on Snack. Bud Crawford, if you were that, bro, like, that shit was so unnecessary, dog. This fight speaks for itself. This fight is going to do well no matter. It don't need all that. You know what I'm saying? If you want to poke holes in Bud's game, then so be it. But to go down conspiracy road and shit like a lot of folks was trying to do, that shit is not necessary for this fight. You know what I'm saying? Hell, even with Canelo Alverez, you know what I'm saying? Like, alkylbuterol shit was been limited. Like, I didn't really, make a big deal out of it. I spoke on it a little bit, but we ain't make a big deal out of it like that because guess what? This fight is historic, man. This fight is what this fight is, bro. And as long as Bud Crawford gets a fair shake against the $400 million man, then, let the chips fall where they may. You know what I mean? Let the chips fall where they may. So I'm really looking forward to it. You know what I mean? Number 3 lineal undisputed championship belts. The White Ring Magazine belt is the most rare belt in boxing. Oh, and the 24K Ring Magazine belt too. Yeah, hey, and it's funny because, believe it or not, Bud Crawford made that hip and made that a trend, or should I say we made that hip and made that a trend. Look, before Bud Crawford came along and doing the stuff that he was doing, there was nobody talking about lineals. I remember when we first started talking about that over here, that word wasn't even in boxing talk, bro. It really wasn't. That word wasn't even in boxing talk. Bud Crawford made that shit hip. No one wasn't even thinking about that belt. When I tried to tell folks, when he held that belt up at Spence after he beat Spence, that was the first time a lot of boxing fans even seen that belt. So at the end of the day, dog, Bud Crawford made it hip. And after that, everybody wanted to be undisputed. Everybody wanted to try to be the lineal guy. Remember that when it was like a little fad and shit, man. And Bud Crawford made that shit hip, bro. That's what's up. That's the type of trends in boxing that we need, man. Real spill. You know what I mean? That's the type of trends in boxing that we need. You know what I mean? Yeah, that's what it is, man. So, you know what I'm saying? So much love, man. And thanks for that love right there, DIL, man. I appreciate you, bro. I definitely appreciate you. All right, so last but not least, fight fans, let's get this last story right here. And I want to talk about this. It looks as if that we got now this card pretty much getting off the ground between the PBC guys, between Sabastian Fundora, Keith one-time Thurman, huh? It seems as if that Keith is out here and looks as if that the odds are now against Keith. I got the odds right here in front of me, at least for Keith and Sabastian Fundora. And as of now, Fundora is the heavy favorite at minus 500 over Keith at plus 350. You know what I mean? So look like the early money is rolling on Keith Thurman, and people may smell Keith Thurman going down. You know what I mean? I got to honestly sit here and tell you, fight fans, I don't think it's going to be an easy walk in the park for Keith at all. I think that Keith is going to have his uphill battles. I mean, Fundora, bro, is looking like a problem. He's looking more and more like a problem every time we turn around and see. You know what I mean? Looking more and more like a problem. So what I'm gonna do is stand by for a second, man. I'm gonna put this up on the screen real quick. Stand by. Just stand by for 1 second here. Let's see if we can get some, so we can listen to a little bit of the words from Keith Thurman here, man. So let's see if we can put this on the screen. Stand by, fam. Stand by. Stand by. That's not it. That's not it. All right, let's try this one. Let's see if this works. All right, cool. Let's go on over here for a minute. I ain't gonna put the video on the screen. All right, let's listen into a little bit. So let's listen to some of the words that came from out of that press conference, man, and we'll go from there. So let's listen into a little bit of Keith Thurman and Sebastian Fundora.
To your legacy, how important is defeating Sabastian Fundora on October 25th mean to Keith Thurman?
First, you got to remember, it was you. It was all of you saying Tim Tszyu is bad and Thurman's got no reason to be in there with Tszyu. Now I'm fighting the guy that done slapped him up, not once, but twice. And he did it properly the second time. Good job, Fundora. Congratulations. You know, so he did my job, you know, and I'm going to give you a funny little backstory. He's in position because of me. I heard he's a good kid, but he is, because it's the right thing to fight Keith Thurman. Not only does it feel right, not only is it going to be a great fight, but this man got options. Let's be real. You want to know why I had to go to Australia? Because everybody's too busy fighting everybody else, leaving your man Keith one-time Thurman on the motherfucking shelf. That's all they was doing, playing games, picking up this check, that check. Ever since I was in the amateurs.
I know I love me some Keith Thurman. Big fan of Keith, but we not going to rewrite history, Keith. People picking up checks, this check, that check. You picked up a check too. When Bud Crawford offered you a fight, when he was with ESPN, and you said that ESPN reached out to you and offered you a mega check for that Bud fight, your answer was, Bud ain't going nowhere, Spence ain't going nowhere, and you chose to go and take the check for Manny Pacquiao. So let's not act like you wasn't playing that same game, Keith. Now, this ain't even talking about your injuries and stuff. You chose to go and fight Pacquiao for what you thought was the easier money, as opposed to doing the big crossover thing with Terence Bud Crawford. Now, when it comes to Errol Spence Jr., you feel me, the fight that everybody wants to see. Well, we couldn't get it, Keith. We couldn't get it. For whatever reason, injuries, you know, whatever reason, bro. We ain't forgot about that. Now, when you came back, post your injuries, matter of fact, if I'm not mistaken, this is probably what Keith is talking about. They did offer him the Errol Spence Jr. fight, right? They remember when Bud went off to go and face Avanesian, and they offered Keith Thurman Errol Spence Jr. And then Earl popped up in another car accident, right? So Keith was probably ready, and this is perhaps what he's talking about, but it's like during that time, bro, we know that the fans' hearts and minds was wanting to see Spence and Crawford. So it's like, yeah, you saying that, bro, but we know, like, it's like, yo, yeah, he did want to fight Tim Tszyu. He got injured going into that fight, but he wanted to fight Tim Tszyu. I'm just hoping now that whatever the reason is, whether it's the money running low, if it's that like people want to think, or whatever reason that's getting Keith in the ring, I just hope he gets in the ring and he stay there. That's all I can hope at this point. I think that Keith is being genuine finally now, because it's the end of his career and he got to make as much money as he can make going out the door. So at that point, today, I think that he's genuine. You know? So, I mean, we gotta stick to obvious, and we gotta stick to facts here, bro. Like a lot of these fights that didn't happen with Keith, they could have happened. Keith had his own plan, saving Errol Spence Jr. for last, saving Terence Crawford for last, and that plan just did not work out in that fashion. So yeah, these dudes' careers got to go on, Keith. They can't sit around waiting for you, bro. They got to keep on fighting, and that's exactly what they did.
There's been no such thing as an easy Thurman fight. Oh, I'm just going to beat Thurman. I'm just going to roll through Thurman. You got to really want this. You got to want it in your legacy. And Fundora's at that stage of his career where he's getting some names, but he never got a name like this. He saw it. He heard the proposal. It sounded sweet. I'm gonna make sure it tastes bitter, but it sounds sweet. And you know, I'm just gonna thank you, man. Thank you for taking this fight, Fundora.
And I got to give Keith a lot of credit. I got to tell you, bro, he's looking in shape. He's talking real thorough. He's looking like he really wants these top fights on this second leg of his career. And I think we got to believe him. He's starting to give me one-time vibes all over again. I know a lot of y'all may say, man, I think I don't know if I'm there yet. I think he's giving me one-time vibes all over again. I don't know what could be that newfound motivation. Once again, it could be the fact that he want to make money on the way out the door. He may want to add more to his legacy. He may not like the fact how fans are viewing him today. He sees himself as a former unified champion who should be getting more respect. And he may say, you know what, I don't like the level of respect that I'm getting, so I'm going to definitely step it up and do it. Whatever the reason may be, I'm just happy to know that we got Keith back. Maybe late in the game, but we got him back. And this is actually a fight that's really, really smoking right here. You know what I'm saying? Him versus Sabastian Fundora is not a slouch of a fight. It's not a slouch of a fight, man. And I think Sabastian Fundora, I think he got, listening to how Fundora's been talking, seems to have a ton of respect, you know what I'm saying, for Keith Thurman. And I think he realizes that, look, Keith is a former champion. Anything can happen in the sport of boxing. And listening to Sabastian Fundora talk, anything can happen, you know what I'm saying? And, you know, you just never know, you know what I mean? You just never know. Let's listen to a little bit of Fundora.
He is 36 years of age. Do you feel that now this is your time? And obviously you respect Keith, but you want to cement your status as being the best super welterweight on the planet?
Absolutely, absolutely. You know, again, we work very hard for this. I do think I am the best 154 right now. So, you know, it's just to continue this reign and, you know, keep doing what I'm doing.
To be the man, you got to beat the man. If you beat Sabastian Fundora, do you believe that you cement your status as being the best 154-pounder in the world?
You know, I leave opinions up to you guys. But the most important thing of what you just said was reestablish status in the sport of boxing, where people aren't going to have a reason to say no to a Thurman fight. Once I get the WBC title, they're going to say, okay, Thurman for the belt, let's go.
He is 36 years of age. Do you feel that now?
See what I'm saying? That's what I like to hear right there. That's the Keith Thurman I'm talking about. It's like he's looking for a reason to be back into the mix. He's, whether it be, like I say, money motivation, whether it be people doubting him, whether it be people, whatever it may be, we seem to have one time back, everybody. We seem to have one time back. You know what I'm saying? Sabastian Fundora, I think that Keith's biggest issue is going to be trying to figure out a way to the inside, man. Y'all seen these two face off. Keith Thurman had to go and get himself a chair and shit, man. Fool had to go get himself a chair just to see eye level with this big ass dude. You know what I'm saying? Look at this shit, bro. Yeah, they go get a damn. I mean, well, this ain't the one that had the chair. Let me see the one with the chair. This fool had to go get a chair just to get eye level with this dude, man. You know what I'm saying? Just to get eye level with the dude. It's a big boy, man. So he gonna have to make it to the inside of Fundora. Fundora's been using his jab, much more educated, becoming a much more better fighter. He's a war-torn fighter too. So Keith is going to have to pick his shots, use a lot of his athleticism to stay on the outside, bop around, jump in, jumping out. Just don't run into nothing. Just don't run into nothing. Salute to my homie D Lucky pulling on through. Don't run into nothing, brother. Because it can happen in that way. You know what I'm saying? It can definitely happen in that way. And so, once again, I think that Sabastian Fundora knows that, listen, this is going to be an interesting fight. Now, will it determine who's the number one guy at 154 pounds? I think if Fundora can win, I don't know if Keith wins, it makes him number one. But then again, I think this fight to me establishes Fundora more so as the number one. As for if Keith wins, I think it establishes him as a top guy. We still wondering or not, is Keith still considered a top guy at 54? Like all he's beating is Brock Jarvis. you can't, you know what I'm saying? Like you gotta see if he's even worth being in the mix. It's the same way with him. It's the same way with Earl. See, Bud Crawford, that ain't cool. Bud Crawford proved Bud Crawford proved to everybody that he is definitely worth the conversation. Fight fans, I'm gonna have to end this early, unfortunately. Yeah, I'm gonna have to end this early. We're gonna have to come on back and maybe finish this sometime tomorrow. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, man, I'm gonna have to finish this tomorrow, man. I'm gonna have to finish this tomorrow. One of my dogs, man, just had a major accident, and just let's just say I can smell it. You know what I'm saying? So I got to get that dealt with. I should have, let the other dog out as well. Look like the other dog may have had a little bit of an accident, so I'm gonna deal with that. You know what I'm saying? But I just want to say that, when it comes to Keith Thurman and Sabastian Fundora, once again, this is going to be one hell of a fight, and looking really looking forward to it. Really looking forward to it. I'll come back tomorrow. We'll cover O'Shaquie Foster and Stephen Fulton and the rest of those guys, man. But I got to tend to something real quick. And with that being said, fight fans, y'all have a blessed night out there. Stay stressed and sucker free. Remember, the devil is everywhere, omnipresent, everywhere at the same time. Once you sad, depressed, thinking that you are not more than a conqueror. You are more than a conqueror. That and then some. Be divine. See y'all real soon. To the next video. Peace out.